Morning, Patreon subscribers. Just to show you the bubbles, how they are right now. So euro and pound, the buy. Pound is a strong buy because we're actually below the 50%. Looks like the euro is going to join. It just needs a 3.5% shift to go below 50%, and it's going to be in the strong buy section, and it will join Aussie and Swiss. Yen might even come down as well. So dollar, CAD, and Kiwi are sells because they're long, but they've added long, and so that's why they're sells. So these bubbles could be a bit smaller, potentially. So just bear that in mind. So things are probably going to reverse a lot, and the dollar could strengthen a lot because of the CPI. No one knows the result of that data, so it could be very positive for the dollar, and it might mean the retail guys get paid. But if we look at things in the vacuum, without all this noise or this economic data, the USD is a sell. But it might be that the retail guys might get paid today on their dollar bets. Okay, be careful the yen as well, because we've got the Bank of Japan governor nomination, so that's going to move a lot as well. So I think it's going to be a fairly quick video today, and we won't have to talk too much. Gold, the one above 1866. I said 1970, but there aren't any stops up there whatsoever. In fact, the last of the stops is up here, 1912. So there isn't any big reason for any, a big massive pump, because there's no stops above there. So that's going to be like the final destination at 1912. Below, 1804. Oh God, it's basically a big liquidity probe and hunt. I just want to take people's stops out. So yeah, 1867 and 1850. You can see the current positions. We can zoom in actually. So some sellers came in on this drop, and so it could act as a support because these guys are normally wrong. What's happened is that we came up, then we dipped, and it might have trapped these guys. So keep an eye on 1859 and 1857. Looks like it might have dipped in order to get these guys to sell. It's quite a big sell-in compared to the buying. Okay, so that's obviously superseded that. Do bear in mind that we've got lots of white candles, and these white candles are selling. So you can map, them to the appropriate candle. But white selling pressure, white selling pressure, another one, another one. So technically speaking, got a lot of resistance. Sentimentally, we took the profitable traders, the smart traders, are long, and they had an interchange here. So I think possibly 1867, we're only $7 away. The one above 1872, which is possible, might happen. They might move their stops higher, which would be normal. No one wants to get stopped out. And looks like we made a dynamic shift. They're selling it. But we are at a static level above 50%, so we're a sell. But if they continue to sell it, we'll cross 50%, then it will be a buy. So be careful. I say that every day, but I do mean it. Dollar yen, now this is going to be a huge mover because the yields are going to pump, or they're really going to dump. And this tracks the yields, the 10-year yield in particular. One above is your HR target long, which is quite interesting, 133, and the one below is 131.75. Weekly open, target monthly pivot. Below the monthly pivot, it's a target HR short. Look at dollar Swiss, and I'm not going to say if things are a buy or a sell necessarily, because things are going to change, but I'll just tell you where the stop loss clusters are, so the targets. So dollar Swiss is really interesting. They've gone quite long. I don't really know why they went long. They could be looking at their monthly pivot, maybe, I'm not sure, but it's a big move there. One below 91.60, one above is at 93. So just bear in mind we're coming close to the stop loss cluster, and the one above is slightly larger than the one below. Dollar CAD. What a crazy herd move there. Dollar CAD's going to be horrible. So they went long. One above, 133.80. One below, 133.10. Weekly open, target stop loss cluster. Weekly open, target stop loss cluster. So we're chopping on the weekly open. Currently negative below the weekly open. But they've gone long, so we should really be coming down to get that. Potentially get that for a bounce. AU. Actually, we'll look at NU because of the bubble location of the Kiwi dollar. So we'll look at NU. Yeah. Oops. Okay, so oh god, the stop loss clusters are very close. The one above is huge, 69.80, 15 pips away, 16 pips. One below is at 69.45. So it comes up to take stops, it comes down to take stops, up, down, up, down. And see these blue lines? They're the stop loss clusters that got raided. So obviously the one there makes sense because you put your stop above the high, all right, and it comes down. You think that you're okay, your stop's all right, comes up to take your stops, then it falls. And so I think the best strategy is to get an entry and then define your take profit according to your stop loss. So if your stop loss is 15 pips, then try and get a 3R trade. Don't look for a home run on these dollar pairs because you're not going to get a home run because it just wants to chop people up and get their stops. So have a predefined stop loss and then try and get 3 times what you're prepared to risk. 2 times is fine, even 1R is okay, but what you don't want to do is do what they've done there, nice profits, and then have it come against them and take them out at their break even, or even at a loss, you know. So it's a bit of a sort of gut punch really. So what you want to do is definitely define your TP and SL and try and get a 2R minimum. 3R is obviously better, and that's how you do it. So just a big old chop fist on Aussie, and let's look at NU. So this should be selling because of the sentiment on the bubbles, but fundamentals we're quite risk on today. Because the fundamentals are risk on, this might do okay. One above is at 64, one below is at 62.65. We've got the weekly open, so we can target monthly pivot. So as long as we've got that, look for a short below 63.11 to target the stop loss cluster. So that's what I might do. I might place an order there, 10 pip stop or something, looking for a 4R trade. So there's your entry, 63.11. So you could have a stop at 63.21 to target 62.64. So you can probably get a 2R trade in that. And then EU. And lastly GU, and then that'll be it. And if it loads, Walter is selling this, by the way. So whenever he sells it, it tends to do okay. See, they're selling it, the retail guys. See, the thing is, a lot of traders aren't aware of what their peers are doing. So you can see on the ratios they're selling it. So we should be coming up. One above is at 108, and there's your monthly pivot, which is very interesting. Above monthly pivot, target the stop loss cluster. However, we've got ATR long in the way, so we might just hit that, and then might just want to pump and just take those stops, and then it could be a good resistance. And it might do that. So here, pump, liquidity grab, technical resistance, and then down. 106.50 is the one below. So that's what I think is going to happen, and it's going to have an order to sell. The big fish are probably going to want to sell higher up. That's what I'm thinking. And then lastly, GU. And it's going to be quite interesting to come back to this video tomorrow to see how things had fared, because no one really knows what's going to happen. See, they sold it quite heavily, GU. One above is at 122, and the one below 121.30. Wrap up now. Hopefully the videos are helpful. Any likes and subscribes would be great. If you want to join us, the Patreon link is in the YouTube description, and I welcome anyone to the QuasiDB servers, and hopefully it helps. And you can see how you can use particular setups. So the Euro Kiwi, for example, or the Pound Kiwi could be a good long. So like the Euro Kiwi, we come to the FX. And so, you know, 121 pips, just based on that, Euro Kiwi. So what happens is that you wake up fairly early, and then you watch the bubbles move, and the bubbles confirm your trade, and then you just simply lock in profits as it goes. And so that's the Euro Kiwi, okay? And that's how you do it. So have a great day, be really careful, and I'll be back tomorrow.